Bismillah. Welcome to DersCodes, aka Mohammed Anders. Today we are continuing on our path from no funnel project to Funnel Fix. So far we have an editing mode in the back of our funnel. Now this is the default funnel that we'll be using to funnel people into our funnel app. Obviously it's just very basic right now, but we're just building on editing features. So right now the issue I'm having is if I hit back, delete a key, and then I hit delete a key again, it starts at the beginning. So I'm just going to tell Claude that. So I'm going to say when I enter the launch your first high converting funnel H1 and I'm in editing mode, and I click my cursor at the end of the line, I delete a key, it sends the cursor to the beginning of the H1, and then I have to click back to the end to delete a key, so that part's not working properly. And I'm gonna go later, shift plan mode, enter, start shimming. I don't know if you can hear the birds at all, they're chirping. So okay, so while that's going, it's going to give us our fix. While we're at it here, I'm going to add some Indie DevDan's agents. So we've got our spec agents. We forgot to use it in the last video. I didn't prompt us to use it. It should have. The instruction set's not perfect, but we're going to add some other ones. I'm going to warp this guy. This guy we're going to steal some. So we've got work completion summary, this meta agent, AI agent. I think that's it for now, and this hello world agent, and paste that in. And then we're also going to add in these hooks and commands and settings notification into our Claude folder. And so it's not going to apply until we stop and start Claude. So we're going to run this first and then we'll start using these. The fix occurs because the component is using React's controlled render with content editable. Sure, this sounds fine. Let's fix it. It's quite amazing what it can understand just from the description and what it can infer if you use the right language. While it's hurting, let's just check logos. So go to Midjourney, and you know, I like this guy, but I think we could do better. This one's kind of interesting. Image prompts, and this guy is a style reference, and just keep it real simple. So funnel logo, because I do like the, you know, the 3D, the extra pizzazz, but it's also, I want it to be very understandable and very simplified. This is kind of interesting. So is this, still a little bit too 3D, but they're interesting nonetheless. What if I just did this image prompt and funnel logo and use its likeness maybe? Okay, it's spinning. This is kind of interesting, kind of like the same logo, but I don't mind it in ways. I think that's the key one. So image prompt, we're gonna go with funnel logo. Look at how nice that looks. Like the edging is it's cool, but it may not pull off well in a logo. Let's get rid of that. Oh, I like this check. It's like funnel, yep. Or this one's pretty cool too. I think this is almost the one. Let's check into Claude. Let's say into test. Let's see. So let's refresh. Edit mode. Okay, so it just clears it all together. So refresh. Edit mode. Save. Currently it has default text, but when you go to edit, it replaces the text altogether instead of editing the current text. Do that in plan mode. Actually, I'm going to steal that. I'm going to Control-C, restart Claude. I'm just going to show you that command. So we have got stop.py, which I'm going to get rid of this setting. I'm going to rename this to get rid of the copy. One thing I realized is I need some environment variables so I'm going to pull off screen for a second. Okay, I've added those .env, .mcp.json, and I want to add to the git ignore the MCP. I'm going to save there, and now got our stop command. So matchers looking for the hooks type command. Hooks stop up high. So it's going to run this script when it's finished something, and I think it could finish is this hello world agent. So I'm going to say hi Claude. Should technically run off this hello world agent. Error unknown command. It might be in the tool greeting the user. Did you know random fact? Is that a tool? No. I'm just gonna see why do we get this. Shift tab 1 to plan mode so it doesn't execute anything right now. It first looks through the agent and Claude commands. Oh, let's see. So where does that get triggered? Ask it to fix this. I should use a task flow with a regular prompt, not a slash command. Okay, it sounds like it was just a Claude error, so let's accept those edits. I don't know if it has any edits to actually do. So let's say hi Claude. It's running hello world agent. Initializing greeting the user warmly. Technically it should play audio speaking, text to speech when it's finished. That's what we're looking for here. It seems stuck in a loop because it called itself. I'm going to try and exit. Oh, I think I know what it is. I'm going to delete this. I think it's because we didn't start and stop after we added some things. So hi Claude. So it actually did work. I just prematurely paused the recording, so I'm going to try it again. Hi Claude. Ideating. Should run the hello world agent.
All set and ready for the next step.
Yeah, so there's our stop agent. Now we're good to go. Let's run this command. No, let's get rid of all that. Do this guy. So now we'll get notified when there's a change and we can do something else. So don't mind this logo. Get the check mark, get the funnel, also a funnel. So we brought into...
Mohammed, your agent needs your input.
Okay, I found the issue when the component switches to editing mode. It's not properly initiating the content editable element. I'm going to make this edit. Go ahead. And I think our agent's a little bit loud. Okay.
Your agent needs your input.
Turn them down just a bit. A few pop. Open changes in cursor. Yeah, we'll make that change. And go into Figma. We're gonna bring in...
All set and ready for the next step.
Okay, let's check in. Alright, so if we go to edit mode, click here. And now we can fully edit. I kind of liked what it was saying anyways. No tech overwhelm. We add an image here. You can try what we just downloaded. There we go. Download the free checklist that's selling today. We want to make that editable instead of having it click down the page. This one we should test. Yeah. That's working. I hit save changes. Unsuccessfully saved. I don't think it's writing anywhere. Yeah, it's not. So we could start saving that to a database. I think it's key to get that hooked up. So let's work on that. Let's make a commit. So we go to Funnel Fix clear, git, add, write, commit. And then we're going to this panel. We gotta get better at thinking on the fly. So then we're gonna go to cursor and Claude, and we're going to... I want to hook up Supabase. I will provide you with .environment variables, and that's our next step. This one we're going to use Hero's requirements. So if we look at it, context user wants created, we're going to ask it to use the Hero Spec developer agent. So Hero requirement agent, just because I'm having trouble triggering them. So we want to be able to save the data that's editable currently in the funnel template into the database. Keep in mind that it's going to be based on the user that's logged in. And that's the first feature. Can you use this agent? Bismillah. So hopefully it starts out, it's going to use the QRL requirements agent to help develop a comprehensive spec. Nice. Always nice to see these agents show up. So while that's running, go into the Figma. Let's remove background. Okay, let's go here.
Your agent needs your input.
Okay, that's handy. Do you want to make this edit to requirements.md? Oh, it's showing the diff actually. So let's just go to where it's put that in docs generally. I guess it's just showing here. So this document outlines the requirements for integrating Supabase into the Next.js funnel builder application. Data will be associated with the authenticated user. Requirements 1, user auth, acceptance criteria. When a user accesses the application, then the system shall provide authentication options. When a user attempts to save funnel data without authentication, then the system shall prompt for login. If the user is authenticated, then the system shall display their authentication status. This is all looking pretty good. It's good to read all of it. So I'm going to spin up and get those environment variables. Let me just do that off screen. So this is Funnel Fix app. Funnel Fix app, strong password. Copy that. Go to the app. Gotta add some stuff off screen. We're gonna place it in Canada. Actually, yeah, that's fine. Create new project. Understand. So that's spinning up. While that spins up, I'm going to go add some more keys. And that framework, okay. Oh, okay, I've added the environment. We go back here. We can say we like the requirements. And then after requirements, it's going to run the design if we like the requirements.
Subagent complete.
Yeah, now it's developing to inspect. Yeah, so now it's reading our whole document. So we don't need to do the /init with Claude if we're using these agents. In particular the QRL ones. So while that's added, let's try the trace images. Let's look at the drawing board. So we've got strike hookup. We're setting up DB right now. So DB is what we're focusing on now.
Your agent needs your input.
Let's see. So based on my analysis of the code base, here's the comprehensive plan to integrate Supabase for saving editable funnel data. Install, create configuration, create this schema, profiles, funnels, form submissions, create auth components, implement auth, update lib storage, price box storage, update API around, add auth, update funnel editor, RLS, that's good. Real-time updates, yeah, auto save I think is good for the future, so we'll save that. We'll go ahead. So I'm going to add to this list, and we're going to say user auth is happening right now, storage of images happening right now, and that's where we're at. Let's check it on the Figma. Insert trace image. Okay, the nice thing with this, so I don't have like shadows and stuff, which is pretty cool. Nice thing with this, remove this off screen. Let's see what this group it. We go in here, go flat, go. I'm gonna try and flatten the whole thing, or at least pieces of it. So flatten, fill. It's almost as if we gave flatten, and then we give it a stroke of like, look at that, that filled it in. Then we go flatten. Okay, nice thing about this is we can make this white. So I don't want to do that. We can make that white and then do like have an outer edge to it. See, let's check it on. It's still going, so sometimes the agent stop function breaks. I just want to make sure that's not happening. Let's put this on a background. Yeah, so that's that one, that's that one. That one looks better. That's just the plain original logo without. Like, what if we try giving this rectangle something more to go with? Gradient, an effect, some noise, maybe give it noise size, like in there almost. Let's zoom out. It's always good to see what the logo looks like small. Yeah, that's one possibility. So we're gonna group, oops, flatten, that's another scale of it, and then maybe the real small, like the favicon, see how recognizable it is there. Not too bad actually. Let's just check, make sure that, yeah, it's still going. I don't mind that as the funnel logo so far. What if we had rounded corners for like 200? And yeah, there's some possibility there. Let's see, what else can we do while we're letting it cook? We can play off these. This one's not bad. This one's kind of interesting. Image prompt. We could go like that and...
All set and ready for the next step.
Okay, let's check in. I've added that. I have to run the SQL schema, which is located on SQL. For this in Supabase, you can migrate it, but sometimes it's nice to just do this stuff by hand. We're gonna go to Supabase. I'm gonna go to Funnel Fix SQL Editor, paste. Is that the right one? Seems to be missing quite a bit. Oh. Yeah, that's the right one. Now if we go to our table editor, we have form submission. Oh, we even have analytics event. That's interesting. Funnels and profiles. So now if we go to Funnel Fix and we refresh here, we have to sign in. We're going to set it up with Google Auth right away here. So I'm going to pull up my Google Auth in a separate window. So console.google or console.cloud.google.com. Switch my account. Okay, I've created that. So now we need to go into APIs and services and Auth consent. Get started. App name. Funnel Fix. Grab user support. Next, make this an external email address for support. So let's say Anders Agency 7.ai. Continue, create. Okay, then I'll create my Auth client, application type web, funnel, Next.js. Okay, so here we want HTTP. Actually, we don't need anything there yet. All we need is, maybe we do, local host, and then the redirect URL is going to be Supabase authentication URL config. No, sorry, sign-in providers. Google. I need to put those in, and it needs this redirect. We'll create, that's just my client ID. Let's go back here, client ID. That one doesn't need to be okay. API and services, credentials. We can add one more thing, the secret. Save that, and now we should be good to go with Supabase. So let's go back to Funnel Fix and let's say to Claude. Can you replace the sign-in page with Google Auth instead of email for now? Just comment out the email feature. We'll probably add it back later. Enter. Let it do its thing. Yeah, so let's check in with a pod while we're at it.
Level, like that's, we love.
Your agent needs your input.
Okay, let's check. Plan to replace email auth with Google Auth. I'll modify that authentication system to use Google Auth instead of email password authentication. Here's the plan. Update auth form component. Simplify auth pages. Update environment variable. Yeah, I've done that. Update navigation link. Let's do it. Let's see. Check in with.
Puts a bunch of tokens here. Then you say, oh, can you go ahead and do this type of thing here? It's like, yeah, go ahead, cool. And can you also grab like this other files and do these other things? So now that it's grabbing files from your code base.
So Ray Fernando's talking about this. E0-context-window-visualizer .vercel.
That starts to fill up. And so the agent does another like 8,000 worth of thinking, does a couple of tool calls and stuff, and does some more code output. And then it starts now that this token is pretty fast. We're basically at 96,000 tokens out of 200, and you'll probably see like a little thing like, okay, what if I just want to do another quick request? So then you start to grab some more stuff from your database. You start to like now connect all the front end and the back end. Your agent does some thinking. You say, I want it to think ultra hard. So then you basically pass in like the most amount of tokens. This, and you're just for 3 different, you know, if you're thinking ultra hard, you're going to use like 32.
All set and ready for your next step.
8, 16, 24, and then one more like that. And then it does like.
Ray always coming with the heat. Let's see here. I've done this. Let's go back to Funnel Fix. Go continue with Google. Pretty sure I enabled it. Enable sign in. Gotta click save. Let's go to Funnel Fix, continue with Google, choose the one that I'm working out of. There we go. Now we got edit mode here. Let's go and say launch your first high converting funnel. This is a lead magnet funnel, so let's say we're going after health coaches. Let's say lose 50 pounds in 6 months with money back guarantee. I don't think anyone would actually do this, but program. And then I don't see a save button anymore. Maybe it's done autosave. Editing, save changes, failed to save. Let's check our issue here. I don't see anything in there. Check our console. Those save changes. I'll respond, copy all this payload data, and we'll go in here and say failed to save to which endpoint? API/funnels endpoint after editing, after hitting save and editing. We'll say H1 in hero. Okay, we're brewing here.
Like some tool calls to grab some additional things. And then it's going to try to do the code output. And boom, just like that, you know, with a couple of more requests, now you're basically hitting almost like right at the very end. And as you can kind of like this type of workflow starts to add up super fast. And we've only done a couple of turns. And this is the point sometimes where maybe like Claude codes on it, or
your agent needs
like
your input
itself will start to kind of say, hey, we're going to roll the dude, I just started the conversation. Why is the AI getting dumb? It's like, maybe it's not that the AI is getting dumber, but I think it's more that the context windows are kind of limited here, and that a lot of these apps in the background are trying to do different things for you to try to maybe not take up.
Plan to fix funnel save API error. Identify the issue. The problem is that the client-side storage is using browser Supabase client, but the API routes are checking authentication. Remove direct Supabase calls from storage class. Update storage implementation. Fix API routes. Update error handling. Files to modify. Looks good. Bismillah. Actually, before I do that, I should commit. Time to get in a better habit of that. That's my last changes. Add and commit. We'll see if it figures out git add. Yeah, it figured it out pretty quick. Enter. Once we get through the git dot, we can just come back. Yeah, enter, that's fine.
Much space. And on top of that, there's this interesting study that I want to go ahead and show you. This was produced from Chroma. And in this study, they did all this. It's like a really lengthy report, and I definitely would recommend you check it out. So they did this comparison called the needle in a haystack extent. One of these things is like you can have these like large context windows from like Google or these other companies, millions of tokens. You're like, okay, if I throw everything in there, it should be. The thing that I learned about this and what I really want to share with you that I don't hear many people talking about other than in these really deep reports is that when you have a single question and you have a single thing for it to search, that accuracy. And so what that means for you and your code base is that like maybe if you have one specific narrow task and you have like this giant code base, maybe just giving it that one thing is going to make it much more accurate. And that actual thesis was proven through their research and this paper here. And so whenever you have basically like there's like this similarity bias, and as this type of thing kind of goes out, it starts to get a little more distracted when you start to give it more tasks. And this is kind of where we're going to approach this thing called sub-agents and kind of why this is such a big movement in this realm. It's not only about the context, but it's also about accuracy and achieving the nice things that you need to do in your code. So we can kind of unpack this. This is going to be a little bit more like theory type of things, but I kind of want to do this a little bit more with visuals because there's a lot to unpack here. And I feel like as a live stream, I can answer some of your questions back and forth, maybe some of the stuff you've been running into. And I'm hoping that this can sort of influence and change a little bit of your behavior for how you prompt the models and then how you can get the most out of them so that way you buzzing and kind of, I feel like sometimes a lot of people use an off-the-shelf framework or an off-the-shelf MCP that does all these tool calls, but what you'll actually end up discovering is that maybe some of this type of stuff is abstracting it a little too much, kind of deep in, kind of like a big, spraying and praying, as the old gamers used to say. So in this haystack question, obviously this is kind of like what they're saying is if there's a bunch of irrelevant context, this is the needle. And whenever you have something called a distractor, something that sounds similar, this is kind of where it starts to kind of get thrown off. So that's sometimes like maybe some of your queries, you're not really clear at the very beginning about what you want. And then if you kind of give two similar things, that's kind of where it starts.
So research done with Try Shortcut turned out pretty good. We got some real niche specialties. Our customers in the health coaching space will be serving, so we kind of know what funnels they might need. So if we go and say download this data export file, go download funnel data, and let's go to check in on here. Oh, why did I interrupt again? Because I want to do the git commit. So let's say continue. And let's open up ChatGPT, go new, upload file, funnel data, and let's say, I'd like to figure out the categories of types of funnels I should build based on the, actually, I don't like that. We're going to give it our funnel types. So in here, we've got our new, okay, so here are our funnel types. I'm going to go to the new, say, I want to align these funnel types with my funnel data. Essentially, the customers of ours is the first column, and we want to find out which ones we should serve, maybe the top 5 based on our funnel offerings, and even changing our funnel offerings if you see different data based on averages online, and which niches our funnels can help of our customers, and align all that.
All set and ready for what's next.
Of what funnel templates to build based on our data, and which customer to go after first of the first column, and which niche, of course, of theirs would serve, but that's obvious. Would serve. Let that run. I'm going to check in here. Yeah, see, it didn't give us the agent message, but it did also have a failure, so that's fine. I successfully fixed the save API. So now go to Funnel Fix, go save, Supabase. Okay, let's refresh. Might be logged out. Let's see here. Clear some cache. Supabase has already been declared. Let's just see what it says. I could probably find this on my own, but the whole point is to use AI to its best ability.
That if you're as confused, the AI will also just be as confused for the task when you have. So they say here, the best writing advice I got from my college classmate was to write every week. And then here it says I think the best writing tip I received from my college professor was to write every day. See, like this is the needle and this is the distract, all in the same paragraph. When you ask, what's the advice I got from my college professor, it's going to see these
Your
two
agent
things.
needs your
So it's
input.
gonna be like, oh, I've seen that in the training set. I see these two things. And you're like, wait, which one should?
Apologies for the dog noise there. Really not supposed to have a dog in the house.
Well, they said I should write every week, but also the best writing tip.
Plan to fix variable declaration conflict. Declared twice. Okay.
Was that I should write every day. And so that's, that type of like what we call like hallucinations can happen. And this is kind of why it's a little bit more important. And this is kind of why I want to share this type of information, is because not only did they do the study, they actually went super
All set and ready for what's next.
How many distractors can we have and what's the actual accuracy pool, right? Like they did this whole study and it's just blowing my mind right now. So check this out. If you have basically what they call like 4 distractors, the input token length, when you start to kind of add it in, look how fast it degrades as far as accuracy. It goes crazy if you have 4 or more distractors. And so think about this in your own code base. Like think of them as distractors, right? Whenever you have code that's repeated on all these different components and you say, go and update this type of thing, you're like, and you just YOLO it, it's going to update it in like maybe your front end, but your back end also needs to figure out, right? There's a lot of other relevance. And if you have, for example, like a progress bar, and then you have some type of layout, you
Supabase, database, table editor, funnels. Let's look at our data here, hero, subhead. Okay, there's our data. So the headline data is saving in the database, but it's not rendering on the front end. On refresh, it's probably because we're not passing a value or something. It's called persistence, so I'll pass that image in. It's not persisting. Giving it some info.
You're supposed to kind of sort of have some hierarchy and some components you reuse, but it's like, oh, I'm going to make another.
Your agent needs your input.
Okay. Read file, yes. How I matched your 49 customer records to the 5 funnel template. This is key right here. So I'm going to put this in TLD draw. This is what Celine wants to see. So if we go screenshot, no, desktop, there we go. So teen fitness coach, lead magnet funnel, parents are the buyers, so a short PDF, a teen workout checklist.
Mohammed, your agent needs your input.
Let's see, the issue is that the dashboard is always loading the static JSON. Update, create a funnel list selector. I'm going to say, do the best solution, not the quick fix. So we'll let that run. Let's just look at our logos as of recent. So we're going to look at this one and we were going to add some things to it. So I'm going to go to the explore page. I'm going to go to mesh and
your agent needs your input.
Create a funnel dashboard. That's fine. Add funnel editor route. That's all fine. The mesh, I like this mesh. I like, this is kind of cool. This could be interesting for what we're doing as a style reference. A funnel logo. We'll go off. Let's try and animate this one as well. So who knows what it'll do. We could even animate this one or animate manually. Say a funnel logo with balls falling down into the funnel. Loop submitted. Yeah, like these are cool, but they're not quite logo-like. But it could be assets on the site for sure. I'm gonna animate this one and place it in the screen to view. Oh, this might be interesting. Okay, still cooking.
Another progress bar over here in the admin panel because a user request. Well, I have a whole directory of components that I use from Share.
Let's see what else is happening on the tube. Actually, you know what? I'm going to call it after these. So these are cool, not quite working. This is interesting. I want to use this one, so download raw video, go into OBS. I'm going to add a media source, we'll browse, download. I want to on Finder.
All set and ready for your next step.
Take over a funnel. Okay. Save changes persist across pages, multiple funnels, clear workflow, proper routing, better UX. See here. Nice. Funnel templates. Let's create a new funnel. Sales page webinar. That's good. Edit funnel. Nice. I don't know if we need this funnel templates on the sidebar anymore, but we'll come back to it. Thanks for tuning in. Assalamu alaikum to all my brothers and sisters, and peace out to you all.